got to give the Flyers some love. First of all, Dan Vladar's played great for them. He's a big reason why the Flyers are in third place in their division. And one of the most interesting stats for the Flyers, they're 12-0-1 when they score 3 goals. So, or more. Like, Colorado's the only team who's better. They're 16-0-4. They've done it 20 times, and the Flyers are 12-0-1. LA is, I think, 8-0-6, and Seattle is 10-0-3. Those are the 4 teams that don't have a regulation loss when scoring 3 or more goals. But, man, Philadelphia right now, they've gotten better goaltending, and it's not like their team defense is great. It's better, don't get me wrong. But all you got to do is look at Vladar's numbers to Ursin's numbers that we have up on the screen here, and it's like a 912 save percentage to 859, 2.43 goals against for Vladar, 309 for Ursin. It's 15 starts for Dan Vladar, 8 for Ursin. And it's not like the team is that drastically different. I've never bought into that, Jeff. And I was looking at some of the numbers. The Dan Vladar has just played really well. And I think probably better than a lot of us thought he could play as a starting goal.
Whenever I look at goaltenders specifically, if the save percentages are more similar than different, I say that's a team thing. That it's not just about that goaltender, but if they're profoundly different, right? Then you say, okay, yeah, what one goaltender is really really outstanding here, and isn't just the byproduct of the system or the players that are in front of them. One other thing, Adam Ginning was placed on waivers. So I think that's got everyone wondering if that means that Rasmus Ristolainen is close to returning as well. So the Philadelphia Flyers back end could get a little bit more of a bump there. I agree with you. I'm not sure if you watched that New Jersey game, but there were 2 saves at the end of the first period, one on Hischier and one on Timo Meier, that were some of the best saves we've seen in Philadelphia Flyers netminder make this season. And you say to yourself, like, oh, it's goaltending like that Philadelphia has been dying for forever. But I think one of the big ones here is the rebirth of Trevor Zegras, who looks like a more mature player, a player who's more comfortable in his skin, a player who he's to have changed how he plays and how he thinks about the game mentally. I know he had that tough turnover in that New Jersey game as well, but listen, here's a guy that, like, I'm pretty sure that, John Tortorella and Rocky Thompson last year, when the Philadelphia Flyers power play was sputtering, and we heard all those rumors about, they need Trevor Zegras, they need Trevor. I'm pretty sure that was the guy that both John Tortorella and Rocky Thompson, who's handling the power play, that they wanted. And now that I'm sure that they see Trevor Zegras on the Philadelphia Flyers, like, oh, that was the guy that we wanted that whole time. Listen, it's a team that right now has hit a stride. 14-7-3, real hot lately, won 3 games in a row, and they're getting some balanced scoring as well. I don't think that Daniel Briere still looks away from the idea that this is still a rebuilding team. But what I always wonder about, and I think we're kind of there with Detroit, at what point do you say to yourself, okay, we've got a lot of picks and prospects. Do we start to look to turn these into players? Like, there's a lot of players on this roster, but at what point do you start to say, if you're Daniel Briere, okay, so we have like an artillery here. What can we use it for, and who can we get? I wonder if the Philadelphia Flyers are at that point, or if it still might be a year too early. That's what I wrestle with Philadelphia.
Yeah, because really the big difference for the Flyers is they're scoring goals at virtually the exact same rate. In 2024, they averaged 2.82 goals per game. In 2025, 2.83. This year, 2.83. Like, you can't get more consistent offensively. Now, it's not high enough. They'd like to score more goals. And their power play is like it's 17.5%, which is improvement because they've basically been the worst power play for 3 years in a row in Philadelphia. But the big difference, Jeff, is they've cut down their goals against. They've gone from 315, 345 to 279, right? That's the big difference. A lot of it's Dan Vladar, and their team defense is better than numbers overall. Now, they get to a shootout. That's where Trevor Zegras comes in. There's no one better in the history of the NHL. He's like 68% on shootouts, which is wild, right? Like wild. Of anybody who's gone even 10 shootout goals, he's the highest by 10%. Like, guys like, you remember when everyone's like, oh, UC Okinen is one of the greatest shooter. He's like 32%. Right now, he scored a fair amount for a while, but then he didn't.
Yeah.
Right. And like Patrick Kane has the most shootout goals all time at 53, and Jonathan Toews at 52. And Toews is a 46% guy, and Kane's a 40% guy. They're both really good, but Trevor Zegras is 68, and he's got, like, honestly, when I see the Flyers in the shootout, I am changing the channel. He is the most electrifying player in a shootout, because I don't know how many moves he's got in his bag of tricks, Jeff, but it is like he does a different move all the time, and I love it.
The thing I love about his shootouts is, and I know I'm in the minority on this one, but I loved watching Yevgeny Kuznetsov just crawl to the slots, right? I absolutely loved it. And we see Zegras, right? He does that. He swings right, and he doesn't start picking up until he gets a couple strides inside the blue line. He takes his time, and it's real slow, and it's real dramatic, and then bam, it's sudden. And that's what I think about with Trevor Zegras, specifically with his hands. It's not that it's fast, it's sudden. Like, that's Trevor Zegras to me. Suddenly Trevor Zegras does this. Suddenly Trevor Zegras does that. That to me is Trevor Zegras. But he seems to have, like, there's an old saying, oh, we got to get the junior hockey out of this guy. We got to get the junior hockey out, or we got to get the college out of this game. It's like they've gotten that out of Trevor Zegras' game. But you know what I think, Jason? I think a lot of it is Trevor Zegras has done that for himself. I think he's realized this is a second chance. It didn't work out with Anaheim. I don't want to say take it more seriously, because I still think that he's a serious athlete, but I think that in his own mind, he said, I need to focus a different way, and I need to play a different way, and I need to get all that college and junior style I used to do out of my game and simplify my game where I can be that sudden Trevor Zegras that Flyers fans are just loving now.
Yeah. Well, we haven't talked about the Flyers a lot, but I don't know how long they'll continue it or not, but they've been one of the more pleasant surprises this season. Dan Vladar would be right at the top of that list with their whole team. And, Zegras is playing well. They got a lot of other guys going, and Rick Tocchet has got them bought into how he wants to play. It's kind of similar to Vancouver. They're not the most, exciting offensive team. And I do believe that, yes, you need to play good defense, but you eventually have to score if you want to win the NHL. Like, you have to score at some. You don't need to be a top 5 scoring offense, but you can't be bottom 5, bottom 8, 10, and really be successful. So that's going to be the next step of their progression. But I think I want a big shout out to them.
Hey, hockey fans, if you enjoyed that video, then make sure you hit the subscribe button right here on the Daily Faceoff YouTube. We have you covered for everything you need. Exclusive interviews on The Sheet with Jeff Marek, all the latest hockey news on Daily Faceoff Live, and you can always get your morning started with Johnny Lazarus and Colby Cohn on Morning Cup of Hockey. Don't miss a minute. Hit that subscribe button.